button, John, can you?
Yep.
I got it.
Okay, well, welcome to the Friday webinar, coaching webinar, and this week is special to me because we're going to talk about that 30-day launch plan. And you're going to hear some things that you may never heard. You probably heard them from me, but this is the truth about why your business possibly has not launched in the way that you want it to. So take copious notes. This is Eric Worre of GoPro, who goes around and researches all the top industry. This is exactly what he teaches. This is exactly what John and I teach. This is exactly what our mentor taught us. And this is not taught in Legal Shield. So I am going to, I want you to understand, we're talking about your first 30 days. And somebody needs to mute their phone, please.
Some of the, Darcy, the speakers, if you're on a speaker line, somebody has got a weird background noise. So please, speakers, mute out your background noise. Thank you.
Okay, so let's just get into it. Is your present plan taking you where you want to go? Or is your plan broken? So you really have to look in the mirror and look at your counters, look at your money, and say, am I okay with what I'm making, the amount of business, the amount of production in my organization and me personally? And if it's not what you want, then this is a webinar you really need to listen to understand how to launch a true successful business. And I'm talking to you as business entrepreneurs. You are the CEO of your own Legal Shield and identity theft, sales, and marketing company. So your objective is to sell the memberships and recruit people to sell the memberships. So what you need to do is explode in your local market, which will explode in your state market, which will explode you across the country. But it starts with you personally and your behaviors. So if your plan is broken, we're going to fix that today. We learned last week 5 simple steps to success. We use the service, so we become a satisfied customer, and we share the service with people, the benefits we personally received and other people have received, to as many people as possible in our first 30 days. We share the opportunity as well. We do referrals to the power of 3 at every single presentation. So we have the presenter evaluation form that goes into additional customers, additional company accounts, and additional associates that can help us expand our market. And then we teach people to do use the service, share the opportunity, and get those referrals. We duplicate that. So the question isn't what to do. Everyone knows what to do, but are you applying the necessary power to launch your business so you have the base, the foundation of your success? So 30 days, all-out massive action, AOMA stands for all-out massive action business launch. Those who know why they are doing something always outperform those who know how. So for the individuals on the phone that always want to know, how does this work, and how do you do this, and how is this, and how is that, I want you to not think about the how, I want you to think about the why. And in the why, when I launched my first company, I knew why I needed to get out to the marketplace ASAP with all-out massive action right away in the launch and the opening of the doors of my business, because it's called the grand opening. It's called letting every single person you possibly can that you know as quickly as possible know about what you're doing, so that you have this burst, this launch of success. And that success breeds additional success. It draws people to you. It is worth every commitment, sacrifice, focus that you can possibly do to have that launch experience. And so knowing why I was doing what I was doing, it didn't matter how I was going to do it. I just knew I had to do it in 30 days, whether it was my first business, my European tanning spa chain. I did the exact same thing, went out there into the marketplace as fast as I could. I was booked up from 6 a.m. to midnight within 30 days. Then I moved to Michigan, opened up another store, another chain, same kind of thing. I had to go out there and I had to have massive exposure as soon as possible to have this explosion happen inside my business, and then word of mouth took off, and pretty soon I had this incredible success. John and I got started 24 years ago in this industry, 25 now, and we did the same exact thing. Our first 30 days, it was about a grand opening explosion and business launch. So that's what this is going to be. We're going to talk about. Every company has a launch plan. You are, again, a company owner. You own a company. Here's Apple, and sometimes people think that your Legal Shield company is different than any company, and I want you to not think like that. I want you to think like a successful business person that if you want a successful income. And the thing is, what you do when you're little, you have to think big when you're little because that'll produce big. So if you think little when you're little, you will stay little. But if you think big, if you do the things big companies do, even when you start, you'll have the results of a big company. So that's what this is all about. Every company has a launch plan. So how do we advertise? And we advertise by. To launch my store, I would do radio, newspaper, networking events, flyers, Valpak, Groupon. Why am I doing all these? Why does Apple do all these? Why does every store that opens do all these? It's called mass market exposure, looking for as much exposure as quickly as possible to let everyone know we have a store. Now, how about Legal Shield? How does that translate to Legal Shield? Well, we don't have radio ads. Our mouth is our radio commercial. We open our mouth and that gives the commercial. All right, so we do that sharing. We call everyone as soon as possible, and I mean everyone in 30 days on your list. We talk to everyone that they tell us to talk to, so that's referrals. We call them all. Call all the referrals as soon as possible. So if I leave a home and I have 5 referrals, am I calling those referrals within 48 hours of the appointment? Yes or no? That'll tell me whether my launch plan is working. 3-foot rule. Am I approaching everyone within 3 foot of me to share about this new grand opening? Networking. Am I joining every networking group, especially the free ones? Am I networking to find out where they're at and going to them and letting everyone know at the networking? Cold calling, you have nothing to lose. In this, with Legal Shield, you can even cold call and it works because our timing of our product is so phenomenal. Flyers, are you putting them everywhere you go? Ads, are you putting them out every week? So when we launched our business, this is what we did in this industry. All right, so we had our list, we talked to everybody they told us to, walked up to everybody we saw, we were networking, we were cold calling. Well, not necessarily cold calling. If you do the rest of them, you don't even have to cold call. So that would be my last resort. Cold calling, this should say calling. Flyers everywhere, ads every week. This is what we did. Okay, so the key here is right down at the bottom of this screen. I was looking for the yeses only. In your 30-day launch period, in your grand opening, you're not looking for maybes and you're not looking for no's. If you get a yes, you say, great, let's go. You teach them what you're doing. They go to, they use the product. They share the product. They share the business with as many people as possible. They do exactly this, okay? But if they're in maybe, don't think about that one. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You're looking for the yes. So if it's a no, 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 maybe, maybe, yes, great, let's go. No, no, yes, yes, okay, great, let's go. And then they're going to duplicate what you're doing. So that's what it looks like. We learned that when you share the service or share the business, you can talk to the warm contacts, the referrals, just like we just went over in the previous screen, turn cold or warm by going up to the 3-foot or networking. Go to events, use tools, take them to events, business briefings, executive luncheons, super Saturdays, all the events, or send them a tool, fine. That's a great way to share the service or share the business. Companies, you can share the service by having an enrollment that you have booked. Same thing with the business. You can talk to everyone on your list. You can talk to everyone they know. You can walk the 3-foot rule. The networking, same thing with events. You can do a PBR even for the business side, or even the sharing the service side is a PBR. So, or 3-way calls. All of these are just ways that you can do it. How many times you're doing it is the key that we're talking about today. Not the how, but the why. And the why is you're doing your 30-day launch. All right, so 30-day, let's get more specific. Commit. What does that mean, commit? Commit to the full 30 days by clearing your schedule so your launch gets the power it needs. Understand the sacrifice you must do. Everything, sacrifice everything for 30 days to create a successful launch. No TV shows, no late night. You are working 8 to faint. Focus. Eliminate all negatives and distractions that will get you off course. Family, friends, existing team even. So if you're somebody on this phone that has been a manager for 3 years and you're like, okay, this is it, I've never done a real grand opening, well then this is your webinar for you. And your existing team, you don't have to manage them. You need to show them what it looks like to really do the business the correct way. So don't worry about your existing team. Let them know you're launching your business, you're doing your 30-day launch, and then they'll watch and they'll follow your example. Share. Make a fresh list. For the people that have been in the business for a while, you're going to need to make a start all over, as if you don't even have a team, as if this is day 1. This is October, I think, 3rd. All right, October could be your first 30 days into November 3rd, and see what you get accomplished in these next 30 days. And then share, share, share. So sometimes people go, okay, yeah, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to really get it specific. So let's understand, let's imagine you're on this plane right now, and you're one of the passengers, and the pilot is like kind of launching the plane, but gonna give it 20% effort. You're that passenger on that plane. What do you think would happen if he gives it a 20% thrust? What would happen after he's like, well, you know, I got it off the ground, you know, I got a few yeses, I got a few people to talk to in the first 3 days of my 30-day launch, but I think I'll just lay back a little bit and I'm going to give it a 20% effort my first 30 days. What would happen to this plane if the pilot gave it a 20% effort? It would crash. All right, is your income crashing? Is your success crashing? The problem is if you give it the 20% and that's it, you'll never launch your business the way you deserve to experience the success that is waiting for you. But it has to be a full thrust, a full throttle, you know, throttle to the floor to get this plane off the air and get it safely into the sky to the destination it desires to go to. The same thing happens for you. So what does that look like? What kind of commitment? Well, anyone can do anything for 30 days. What you do, your team will duplicate. Your 30-day story is the story you will tell for the next 20 years. John and I are still telling our 30-day story. Give 100% effort for 100% of your time for the full 30 days. When you can't make one more call, do it anyhow. I remember this principle. I would say, okay, this is my first 30 days, this is my grand opening, so I don't feel like talking to another person. There's a 3-foot person, there's another call I could make. It's 8 o'clock at night, I just want to rest. But no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't for 30 days, 8 to faint. It was so ingrained in my thinking. So the reality check is, are you filling up a minimum of one new wealth building form every single day for 30 days? So here's the deal, the real deal. A full-time person in this business would, in their launch period, in their first 30 days, would be working 12 to 16 hours a day. Yes, you heard it. Oh my gosh, I'm breaking all the... Wait a minute, I thought we did 2 a day. I'm not talking about your consistency. I'm talking about your first 30 days. If you were to go out into the marketplace today and talk to any business owner that launched their restaurant, their store, anything, any business, anywhere that succeeded, and ask them what it was like to launch their first 30 days, their first 90 days, they would not tell you they're working, 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day. All right, now let me show you this one. How about this? Part-time, 6 to 8 hours a day. Yes, you heard it. And you were like, Darcy, I'm not going to do this business. Well, again, if you want the real deal, if you want success, the way success comes, this is the truth. John and I had an existing business, so we were working 40 hours a week running our existing business. We didn't like our existing business, and many of you on the phone do not like your existing job. The question is, what are you willing to do to get out of your existing job? Are you going to work 1 hour a night? Are you going to work just on the weekends? That's not going to get you out of your existing job. So how bad do you want it? So we wanted it bad. So we worked 6 to 8 hours on top of our 40-hour work week. And we did that for 8 months in order to shut it down. So in 8 months, we were able to shut it down, and we were full-time. After we did both incomes, both things for 8 months, and it was interesting. Also had a wedding in there. We got married inside of that first 8 months, so no excuses. We did our 30 days exactly the way we were supposed to. Then our new people got started. They did their 30 days exactly the way I just taught you, and it was just off we went into the land of debt-free living and freedom of time and money and everything you see our life to be today. Started with exactly what we're teaching you right now. All right, drive time. Drive time is for income-producing activities. If you're in your car, no radio. No radio. You are on your phone, you're talking to new prospects, you're inviting them, you're sending them a video, or you're just introducing them, seeing if there's an interest, and if it is, you stop your car, you get that video off to them, you get that, tell them to go to Today's Best Career, make that engagement. You're doing your connect. Break time, if you're at a job, break time is for income-producing activities. It's not for break time, not in your first 30 days. Weekends, all-out massive activity, weekends or evenings if you're full-time is all-out massive activity. So this is what you're doing in your first 30 days. This is what, just so if anybody had a skewed idea of what commitment looks like, I'm showing you the real deal about your first 30 days, and this is what it should look like. All right, so if you did your one wealth building tracking sheet a day, that's 10 on each sheet, that's 30 days, that's 300 people you connected with. That would be 70, so figuring out of 300 people, only 25% of the people will set an appointment you can get an appointment with, which is really low, by the way. So that would be 25% of the 300 you get an appointment with, and then a third of them cancel their appointment, so you only present to 50. You sell 30, which is 60% sales, and you have 10 new associates, is a 30-day power launch. That's what it should look like, 10 new associates minimum in your 30-day power launch. All right, now month 2. So you've got your 10 new associates from the first month, and only about 3 of them probably will go into action. So you want to help your action associates do their 30-day launch. They go out there and do the exact same thing, the 300. And by the way, 10 people, filling up 10, talking to 10 people is not difficult. Anybody can do it in their first 30 days. So this would, if you had 3 people that you launched the following month because you did the right way of launching your grand opening and then you taught them what you did, they turn around and said, wow, I want that kind of success. I want to build my base. It's not what I'm doing, but why I'm doing it. I get the philosophy of a grand opening. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to do it. Anybody can do anything for 30 days. 900 connects, 100 presentations, 90 sales. This is what it should look like. All right, so, well, I can't see that. What happened there? All right. Let me just do it this way. All right, here's, can you see that, Brielle? All right. Let me just open it up. All right, so if I did 100 presentations, if these 3 people did 100 presentations because they're doing 50, 50, 50 here, 150 presentations, I need you to understand this, is with 5 referrals each has 750 possible new customers, new groups, new associates. I cannot explain to you. When Brielle launched her business, her presentation, she was going out into the marketplace, seeing the people telling the story, going to them. She wasn't waiting for them to come to her. She was going to them because she knew she could control that. So that is where you need to understand every presentation, the results of those presentations. So the next slide has the results are referrals, associates, or sales, but here's your 10 people per day. It could be a 3-foot rule. It could be a prospect on your 10, top prospect sheet. So here's a 10-star person, an 8-star person. Here's a 10. Here's a 9-star person. So some people are on your list that you're calling for that day. Some people you're walking up to and they engaged, so they were a potential interested person, so you've got them in the process, so they would go on your list as well because they weren't, it's not like you're walking up like last week, a 3-foot rule, hand a card, and they're not even interested at all. that doesn't go on your list. But if you engaged, connected with them, and they are interested, they go on your list because now they have started you're sending them a website, you're sending them a video, you're doing some sort of, and you're going to document by putting in these little boxes the date of every exposure, the date. And then here's the results. So this is your grand opening, 10 new connects a day for 30 days. And then here's the grand opening, 15 new presentations a week for 30 days. This is going to document your presentations. This is going to document your exposure. So first you're going to walk up, you got to make the call, 3-foot rule, go to a networking group, stick an ad in the paper, all those kind of things, flyer out there, somebody calls you. You've got an engaged prospect that's actually past the, oh, here's a card, and you walk away from it. I'm not talking about that. You engaged them, they're interested. They are interested. So now you're going through the second thing, which is the exposure process and documenting what you use so you can see what works for you. This is all business. You need to know what works for you. Maybe when you send a Legal Shield tool, they never watch it. All right, so the better thing for you is to do a 3-way call or a sit-down or invite them to a business briefing or go over and invite them to a PBR. I don't know what works for you. The key is not which thing you're doing. The key is how many new connects are you having every day. That is the key, which roll over into presentations per week. So if you have 10 new connects a day, that's 50, okay, people you're talking to get 15 of them to sit down with you? Yes. Or 15 of them to come to a presentation? Yes, that's possible. That's not a big deal. All right, you can do this. This is your grand opening 30 days. All right, let's do a reality check. Don't complain about what you permit. If you are permitting yourself to do 1 contact a day and you don't have the income at the end of the month, you didn't make executive director, you didn't get a promotion as far as your income, you don't like the checks you're getting in, don't complain about what you permit because you're in control of the results here. For things to change, you must change. So that's something that we have to look at a reality check. And then here's another thing. When I meet with people, I notice this is not happening either. So I'm going to hopefully share this so it's easy for you. On your list, when you're going through all your yeses, all right, you're looking to talk to the people that have the highest probability. Here's the 0 to 100, 100 being the highest probability that they will say yes. That's the purpose of the top prospects list. That is why you check the 10 boxes, because if you have a 10, a star 10, the probability of them saying yes to your service is as high as it can get. They have a teenage driver, they own a home, they're a business owner. The probability of something positive coming out of that 10-star prospect on top prospect list is why we have the 10 prospects. So the 10 boxes. The probability of buying a service and possibly becoming an associate, high probability. Now, is it simple to do? If it's really simple to make a consumer folder presentation, if it's really simple to point and click and print and present and prosper, then it's simple to do, anybody can do it, and you want to go and present to people that are simple to present to, and it's a high probability of a yes. Okay, let's look at Microsoft Corporation. They have hundreds of thousands of employees. You want to go out there and you're thinking, if I can get Microsoft, then I can get all kinds of sales and I would make ED every month and it would be so great. Is that simple to do? That would probably be a 1 on the simple to do. That is a so hard to do, the opposite of simple. Okay, probability of a yes, not very high. So that'd probably be right here, Microsoft Corporation. Now, you have background in, let's say, gun control, like you, not gun control, like you own a gun and you go to gun firing places where ranges and they teach you how to gun. 100% of the people that have a gun have the service, okay? That's 100%. 100% possibility of them saying a yes, almost 100% say yes. Is that simple to do, to talk to somebody, especially if that's your background and that's what you believe in? Absolutely simple to do, to talk to somebody, and that you can talk to us about the reasons that everybody that goes to those gun ranges and has a gun wants our service. How about a daycare? Daycare providers have 6 kids in their home, high, everything can go wrong. That's kind of a volatile. I talked to Joy Aiden. Joy Aiden had a 100% close on every single daycare center. So what I found out that was a high probability. She had 100% of the people she presented to said yes. It was simple to do. It's somebody that works out of their home. They can make the decision immediately. It's not like you have to go through this whole process. So she had sold 200 of the, she was going to the meetings where they all get together and they present to the daycare providers in the Denver area. So I said to her, and she had gotten to 200 out of 7,000 people in the state of Colorado that do daycare in their home. But she wasn't into recruiting, of course, because that was just weird, and who would recruit, and that she was into sales. And I said, well, you've got 6,800 people that have never heard of the service, so what are you going to do about that? You need help. And so she realized she needed to recruit, because the purpose of recruiting is to expand your reach and get out into the marketplace. So what she did is she called the ones that said yes, the daycare providers, and I said, who's the best client? What's the highest probability of a yes? Somebody who's a satisfied customer. So now so in her case, she had high probability of sales to go out to simple to present, simple daycare provider. But now we're talking recruiting. Where does she focus to help her get to the other 6,800 daycare providers in the state of Colorado? And I said, well, where do you think who knows best of the value of the service to a daycare provider? And she says, well, an existing customer. And I said, great. Why don't you call every one of your existing customers and ask them, I am looking to expand. There's 7,000 daycare providers. As you know, this is a very good service. You love it. You have it. Everyone's happy with it that has bought the service for their own daycare providing. We're looking to expand into Colorado. Who do you know that would be somebody that we would work with to take this product to all the other daycare providers? The very first call she made to a daycare provider that was a satisfied customer said, yes, me, I don't like being a daycare provider anymore. I want to be in the business. And that individual went ED in 6 months. So she went to the highest probability of a yes. The highest probability of a yes for recruiting is a satisfied customer. A satisfied customer that has entrepreneurial background is even better. That would put you way up here. A satisfied customer that's an employee-minded person, better. Okay, they might want freedom. They might be willing to grow and learn how to employ themselves and become an entrepreneur and have an additional income. So definitely satisfied customer is the recruiting. That's where you live right here as far as highest probability of a yes. So think about that when you're going out there and you're working with somebody. Where is your highest probability of a yes and the simplest area for you? And so if my background is AT&T sales and I called on B2B business and I have all these business owners in my list, where would I focus? I would focus on B2B because that's my background. But if I've never called on a business and I think I'm going to walk into businesses and do cold calling, that would be success down here. All right, so where you're focusing in your 30 days is basically on getting a yes with the highest probability. So that is the top prospects list. You call your 10s, 9s, and 8s on your top prospects list, and then you're looking for who they refer, and you're calling them immediately and looking for your yeses in your first 30 days. So are you ready to launch? Every connect turns into a possible presentation. Every presentation turns into referrals, and those referrals turn into new groups, new customers, new groups, and new associates. The question is, will your existing launch plan get you off the ground? So John, I turn it back to you, and let's have a discussion about what people are doing to launch their new associates and what they did to launch their existing business, and did it get them where they wanted to get and what needs to change?
What a great call. Hopefully everybody got like 2-3 pages of notes like I did, and just always so good to just refresh, always so good to just look back and be reminded of really what it takes to move forward. Always working to keep the main thing, certainly the main thing. And before I do that, to everybody out there on the panel and on the dashboard who's dialed in this morning, if you have a question, a comment, or anything in respect to what Darcy just shared, raise your hand. We'll call on you. If something really stood out in respect to the call, fantastic. And, it's always good to have a plan to review. Don't want anybody on this phone to have any guilt or any condemnation in maybe how you launched your business. Because guess what? That's the favor that we have as entrepreneurs, is we can re-engage that 30 days anytime. some of you maybe like me screwed up your first 30 days. You might have even screwed up your second 30 days. I screwed up a bunch of 30 days, but I re-engaged in a new 30 days and then paralleled that with, additional 30 days, as Darcy shared. 8 months changed our life. And so anyhow, is it worth it? Absolutely. So Bob, I can't tell what and who is all on the panel today. I see that Bob's out there, and I think maybe Lafredo's, but Bob, any comments from you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and you're absolutely correct there, John. I love this company. I love this business because every first of the month, you get to start all over again. The past is the past. Whatever happened here last month, wonderful. But here we are, the first of the month, and this is really exciting because this is really the first of a 90-day period. This is the last quarter, the final quarter of 2014, and here we are really, able to just, okay, relaunch. I love this topic here because that's exactly what I've done, is just kind of going through, and I'm not happy with the results that I'm seeing here for 2014. I've re-engaged and re-energized, and, I literally, Darcy, I pulled out that telephone tracking sheet again. And it's such a great form, everybody. If you're not using this form to really stay honest, keep yourself honest, how many calls are you making on a daily basis? Man, it's in black and white. This thing doesn't lie. It really, really will show you, hey, am I making the outbound calls? Am I setting the appointments? And that really is what works in with your PDA, your tracking form. All those forms are what is going to get you successful because it's going to keep you honest. And so, again, here, folks, we're not here to be secret agents. In 15 years I've been with the company, no one's ever knocked on my door and said, hey, are you doing that legal thing? It all starts with us getting out there, letting people know this is out there. Some people see it, fantastic. Other people, they don't see it, wonderful. At least they know you're the Legal Shield person because it truly is a race. And I love, Darcy, that you started this whole thing off with, using the service. That's it right there. So if you're having some challenges with your brand new associates, getting them engaged, I guarantee it's probably right there. They've never even picked up the phone once to call the attorneys just to even see if the phone works. So start right there with those new associates. Use their service. Encourage them to get their wills done. Invite them out to the law firm open house. That's a huge belief builder that the law firms do on a monthly basis. So great stuff here, and let's rock and roll this thing.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Also, one of the things that we've taught over all of 2014 is just understand what you can control. And again, Darcy did a great job here. The hours I work, the presentations I do, and my attitude. And, you're looking for the yeses, okay? You're moving past the maybes. You're moving past the no's. Look at individuals as a line to infinity. Next, 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 yes. And then, go to work, certainly with the yes. Sue Carlin, I see that you've got your hand up. Great to have you. And let me just make sure I just lost you. Sue Carlin, go ahead.
Good morning. How are you all?
We're great, thank you.
I've been on the webinars before. I really enjoy them, but this is the first time that I've really felt the need for an accountability partner. If there's anyone on the call who'd be interested in becoming my accountability partner, I'm at the management level, I would appreciate that, because the truth is I actually need someone to give me a kick in the pants. And I know there are others on the call who may need it as well. And I've given Mr. Hoffman my phone number. I'd certainly like to give it out over this call if anyone's interested. Mr. Hoffman, what do you think?
Yeah, sure. Throw your phone number out there. I'm sure there's other folks who would love to have an accountability partner, and accountability, and even another term is a good workout partner. I love to have a good workout partner, someone that motivates, someone that inspires, someone that pushes me into just a little bit more than what I thought I could do. So go ahead, Sue.
856-581-1205. That's 581-1205. I'm in New Jersey, and it doesn't matter to me where you're from. I'm ready and willing. Thank you so much.
That's great. And I'll tell you, one of the great things about the personal daily achievement, the PDA form that Darcy had up, was in our coaching model, tell me, show me, let me, grow me, one of the most important parts of the PDA is the grow me. When I'm working with somebody and they're out doing a presentation, at the end of the presentation, they're responsible to call me so I can have a little plan, do, review, so I can have a refining and advancing, so I can have an opportunity to coach and mentor and do what? Just simply sharpen the axe. So right there's the PDA, and you can see very, very top line, PDA calls at the very top, Darcy, where Darcy's mouse is. That's where the person you're working with, the one you're coaching and mentoring, after their presentation calls you and explains exactly how it went. Your position, celebrate small wins, edify, recognize that they're out there doing the thing and thus will have the power, and then hear how you can help take it to the next level. Okay? Let's just see here real quick. Let me get my, don't be quiet today, guys. We put a lot of energy into this to hear from all of you, and, you know, it's always good to have, you know, it's always good to look in the mirror. It's always good to have others hold us accountable to looking in the mirror. So, who else is on? Do we have Lafredo? Is there anybody else, any other Millionaire Club members?
Dad, I'm here.
Yeah, great, Brielle. Love to have any comments you have.
Not a Millionaire Club member yet, but working towards it. I just want to say I think that this was a phenomenal webinar, as they all are. But I just love the simplicity of this webinar. I just think that we have such a unique opportunity in front of us, and I am probably the biggest, I guess, weakness to my business most oftentimes, just because I simply overcomplicate what we do. And I think that if I really want to look back through this PowerPoint time and time again, because it's going to take a while to chew and process on all this, because it literally is, it's so simple. The layout, the simplicity of how you share the service, you share the business, you know, build in 30-day cycles or 90-day cycles. I mean, it's just amazing the opportunity that we have, and we just simply get too busy overcomplicating it. I know the times where I'm in my office and I'm reorganizing 2 hours out of every day thinking that I'm being productive, but I'm being unproductively productive. And so, you know, when it comes down to it, like Susan was saying, the accountability factor, keeping yourself accountable, getting back to the basics of using your PDA, your wealth orders tracking form, the phone calling sheet that Bob used. I have my binder sitting right in front of me today, getting ready to make sure all my appointments are in my PDA for next week. I have, you know, everything set and organized and ready, because there's no reason why we shouldn't be seeing explosive growth. And so all that to say, awesome webinar. I hope all of you are encouraged, if you've made it too complicated, if you've overcomplicated the systems, just to get back to the simplicity and the basics of what we do, because that's what is going to compound your success in this business. So back to you, Dad.
Fantastic.
Is Steve Hales out there?
Marv Worthy is. I know that Marv Worthy's got his hand up real quick, and Steve is out there. Did you have a question for him?
Steve, are you out there?
Got to take him off mute real quick. Oh, there he is.
I'm here.
Hales.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to say congratulations to Steve. He had 31 counters this month in his organization, so I think I was going to look up how many sales you had all last year, but I don't think he even had 30 in the entire year. I'm not sure. But you had it in 1 month. So you have been applying this system, actually. So is there any comments you can make?
Well, I just think that the accountability and the tracking is so important, and it's so important to teach your team that. You know, I've been getting some extra coaching from John on the importance of coaching the team. It's kind of like I've gone to a different phase of my business from student to now training the coach, and it's just, you know, these webinars are key. Getting your team plugged into the systems that you have. You know, I don't know if that's what you were looking for, but that's really what I'm getting out of it.
Well, I want to know how you hit 30. Some people on the phone haven't hit 30, and you're brand new. You're working a full-time job. So you've been using, are you using a whole bunch of different things, or are you using the consumer folder?
Using the consumer folder.
Okay, so you have simplicity. So when you are recruiting, are you using the consumer folder and the associate compensation?
Yes.
All right, so when we go to here, to what to bring, you're sticking with the what to bring to a presentation and following the simple, so you're not complicating it. So you're able to just go out there, and you did your first group this month and had great success with your group, right?
Yes.
All right, so by going out there and going into the marketplace and using the consumer folder to make a presentation and whatever, this isn't opening for some reason. So no matter what business you're going to or who you're talking to, you just talk to an insurance agent, right? Or actually a broker, and you brought John on for the broker, but you've had insurance agents come in your business, recruits come in your business, he's done enrollments, and so every single one of these, did you use the consumer folder?
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't matter whether it's a broker, or a consumer, or an enrollment, or a PBR, or a small business owner, and then did you use the proposals?
Yes.
All right, and so here's the applications if you don't have them in stock, and are you using the presenter evaluation form?
Yes.
All right, and are you using the compensation?
Yes.
So you're using this to explain the money, and is that simple, and does it work?
Oh yeah, and the broker that just came on board, she loves that piece. She loves
this one right here?
Wait, no. This is the associate compensation.
Well, he knows. Okay, here's the broker one if you want to. So I went to general agent compensation. You're talking about that?
Yes. Yep.
For the broker, okay. Well, if you go to the column that says broker, insurance agent, then you go down here to how to show the money, and you click on that for the general agent versus the associate. So you just make sure you have the right thing for the right person. And the bottom line, Steve, is what you're working on is growing and coaching, and you don't have to work on the processes. The system is so simple. The process is what to bring to a presentation. You're working more on getting out to more presentations. You're working more on seeing more people and coaching your team to do the same. Is that right?
Correct.
See how you don't want to, what?
I just wanted to say how proud I am of the team, because including myself, we have 4 team members on Performance Club this month. So that's really cool to see when you look at the Performance Club list and you see your teammates, your partners on there with you. That's so exciting.
That is incredible. So we just applaud your success and your coachability and exciting times for your team. So back to you, John.
Yeah, great. You know, and I had a great conversation with Steve and Dee, and Dee was working on, needing to get an email out to a company to get that 15-minute presentation, and I was able to share with Dee, and certainly in helping Steve get on the coaching side of things, how she could just go right to this presentation, what to bring, click it off, and she could have any of the wording she was looking for as far as increased productivity, revenue stream, effectiveness of the bottom line to get that 15 minutes, and the simplicity of that was just phenomenal. So, Steve, congratulations. Dee, congratulations. Teresa Johnson will go out to the Virginia market, regional manager in that area, executive director. Teresa, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Hoffman. And, I couldn't agree more with the other associates, team members who've made comments, because the timing for this particular webinar is perfect. And we know that in our business, timing is everything. And for this to be the beginning of October, we can do the 30-day all-out massive action. And then just expand that into another 30 days and another 30 days, so that we can literally go, we have a 90-day game plan. And the aha for me this morning, even though it's something I know, but sometimes when you hear it again from someone else, it just sinks right in. So this is my epiphany today. Those who know why they are doing something always outperform those who know why. Those who know why they are doing something always outperform those who know why. Because we've always said this, if you have a strong why, it will propel you to do whatever you need to do to accomplish your goals. Now you've got an action plan, you've got a system, you've got a structure that we've always had. That's what I love about ShieldNation. You know, we're not just telling you, hey, this is what you should do, but we're showing you how to do it. All you need to do is apply the why, and that'll make you do whatever you need to do. It'll be easy to make the sacrifices. It'll be easy to give up television. It'll be easy to cut off the radio. It will be easy to talk to other people when you know that, you know, there's something that's hinged on whether or not you make $5,000 this month or if you make, you know, $100 this month, that it's going to be a huge difference in your life, and it's going to make a huge impact in your family, in your business, in your life. That why is going to propel you to do what you need to do. So this is perfect. I agree with everybody. If everyone on our team could just simply duplicate this month, next month will be so easy. Why? Because you've got those little wins, you've got those successes that you can say, you know what? I did it last month. If I did it last month and I made this much, what if I do it this month? And everybody that I brought into the business last month, they're all on board to do this with me. I can double or triple my outcome from the previous month. This is right on point. Hats off to both of you for bringing this to the table at this point in time for us. Back to you.
Thanks, Teresa. Appreciate it. And, yeah, those that know why will always outproduce those that know how. Quick story, quick real story for everybody. We'll get close to wrapping it up. Good friend to Darcy and I are the Moore family. Ken Moore's been 30-plus years in Legal Shield, started when it was prepaid legal. Harlan Stonecipher, the founder of Legal Shield, asked Ken and Wilburn Smith to go up to a marketplace to kick off back then what was called prepaid legal. So Ken and Wilburn went up to the marketplace. By 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they had sold 30 memberships. And they called back into Harlan to report their numbers. Yep, they reported their numbers to Harlan. That's how things work, via their tracking forms and different things that they used. And Harlan said, great, good job. It's not good enough. We need to find some attorneys in that area that can help us. They didn't know how they were going to go and find the attorneys, but their why was so resounding. Their why, you know, understanding that equal justice under law was not a reality to North America. Their why drove them to go and find a provider law firm or some attorneys back then, referral attorneys. They didn't have provider law firms that could represent those members in the marketplace. And so that's a perfect example of 30, 35 years ago, you know, how Ken Moore and Wilburn Smith went to the marketplace. Didn't understand the hows. They didn't have any of this stuff to work with. They didn't have any of the marketing collateral we have today, but they had a resounding why to make equal justice a reality for the marketplace. So not only are they pioneering, we're pioneering. Perfect example of the why versus hows.
John, I'd
one
like
other
to
person.
hear me, John.
Go ahead, Darcy.
I want to make sure that you understand the why that I'm talking about, because you're taught to create a why, meaning a passion or a dream. I'm not talking about that why in this particular 30-day all-out massive action. And I want to make it clear. When a farmer goes out and works 18 hours a day for 3 weeks straight, the why he is doing that is he knows he has to do that in that 3-week planting seed open window time in order to have the harvest 6 months later. So he's doing it because, and we're talking a business principle, we're not talking a dream why, we're talking a principle of why you have to do a 30-day launch, why you're doing it, because it will make a difference for the rest of your career. What you do, and if you do it the right way, sets a precedent. It literally is a life-changing precedent that will always be the new way everyone in your team does their 30-day launch. If you do it right, then they will do it right. It'll become part of your DNA. So what I see is kind of casual approaches. I see people getting started and they casually talk to a couple people a week and this and that. And it's just the strangest thing. I'm just so confused. They don't understand how to launch a business. And so that's why I put this together, because I really believe the principle of a CEO mind, which I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, so inside of me I get the why. The why I had to do what I didn't really want to do, that was kind of uncomfortable, maybe major league uncomfortable, for 30 days. I understood that. I locked and loaded on it. I knew in order for me to be the leader to the other people in my team, to set the precedent, to be the example, to help their future success, everything rested on the choices I made for 30 days myself. And so there's the why, that grand opening. And I knew that if I didn't, any store, any restaurant, any company that doesn't take a very strong launch approach to a business doesn't have the domino effect that happens. So if there's I'm definitely not talking about the why purpose, why dream, why that. Not in this particular one. I'm trying to teach a principle of entrepreneurial success that happens to any company that gets the front end effort that is needed to launch something. And if you can get the why you need to do this, rather than attaching to, well, I want to do it because I want to quit my job. See, that's not good enough. Or I want to do it because I want to be debt-free. Or I want to do it because I want to make $1,000 a month. Those kind of things, that's not the kind of why I'm talking about. I'm teaching a business principle, foundational law of success that you either work with or work against, and it will be the difference between your success or lack of. So that's what I want to make sure that we get the why that we're talking about in this webinar. Back to you, John.
Fantastic. All right, guys. What a great call. Again, if you didn't have your team available this morning, or you know somebody that was maybe out doing presentations or had other appointments, be sure you get them into the archived version. This is recorded, as are all the webinars. And with that, any other comments, Brielle or Darcy or Bob, any other comments? We're going to wrap it up. Okay, fantastic. What a great call, Darcy. Thanks for all the effort. And everybody have a rocking weekend. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.